There's only 3 ways you can actually grow your business. And no, this is not me oversimplifying things. This is literally what has taken me to go from 0 to 7 figures in terms of building a practice with over 15 full-time team members that consistently performs on a high level. Hey guys, if this is the first time watching or join this channel, welcome. My name is Stefan. I run a company called Practice Peak, where we scale clinics to 7 figures, and we are on a mission to change the landscape of chiropractic and how we do things, because we realize that, especially here in the UK, the standard just isn't there. People are amazing practitioners, but that's one of the biggest hindering point of why they cannot scale and cannot create an incredible, long-lasting, sustainable business that has a bigger impact. I also have a practice that I run every single day. I no longer practice in the practice, and this Practice Peak consultancy started from my friends and colleagues asking me, hey, how did you do that? And you managed to remove yourself from the business, you're no longer seeing patients. This is how. This framework, if you stay until the end, is going to teach you 3 simple practical tools. And as of today, watching this video, I want you to actually apply what you are learning. And there is going to be some of you who just watch this, switch off, and don't do anything different. And you guys will probably not have any positive change to your practice, to your business, and to your patients' lives. Some of you will completely switch off and not even watch until the end. Some of you, a small percentage of you, will stay for the next 5 to 10 minutes and have a fundamental shift of how you see your practice. Will make one change, and you would watch your practice skyrocket and probably create more freedom for yourself, better future for your family, and probably change the life of many, many patients in the next few months to a few years. So I hope you enjoy this, and without further ado, let's get to it. This is taken from a legend in the space of marketing and business and entrepreneurship, someone called Alex Hormozi. And I want to share with you guys that there are literally 3 things that you can do in your business, and whatever else you try to do is just a shiny object, okay? There are 3 levers to grow any business. Chiropractic and a clinic is no different. That's it. The first one is you can do more. So this concept of doing more really stuck with me when I realized that, I don't know if you guys have heard of this saying, that something was working so well in my practice, and I talked to my clients about this, something was working so well, was performing amazingly, so we stopped doing it. And this kills me every time I hear someone running, let's say, a Facebook ad, and is bringing in patients, it's profitable, they stop doing it. No, spend more. If you have a Google PPC campaign and you say, oh, my budget is £500 a month, but it's generating leads at like, I don't know, £20 per lead, or £20 or £30 per client being booked in your diary, run it for longer, spend more money. If your best CA is converting calls, give them more calls to convert. So more is the first principle, and I need you to listen and watch until the end, because what you'll find is that the secret is not about doing this one or doing the other one. The secret is in the sequencing, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So I want you to think of doing more as pouring fuel on what's already working. You will have some elements in your business, in your practice, that are working really well, and for whatever crazy reason, we'll just stop doing them. I want you to think that from all different aspects of your business, in terms of delivering a good adjustment to a patient, having a script that works really well, an advert that is performing really well and you've kind of stopped doing it, something that you used to do but then you stopped doing it even though it was working really, really well. One of the things that we actually teach our members is, if you want to increase your retention, if you want to increase the number of people starting and committing to care and your referral rate, get the partner to come in. We have a very specific framework of how we do that, but that is one of the biggest hacks that you can do in your practice. And people stop doing it. People forget. People get complacent. So some of the videos that I make on this channel are not so much to teach you stuff, it's to remind you. We sometimes need to be reminded, not taught, on what works. So that's the first lever that you can pull. More. Just do more. The second lever that Alex Hormozi talks about is you've got to do things better. Make the machine more effective. Not necessarily more efficient. There's a difference in efficiency and effectiveness. And efficiency is doing something quickly to make sure that it's efficient. Effective means I might spend longer as long as this thing is more, it produces better results, right? It's more effective at the outcome. This is where you need to think, what are my scripts and frameworks, and how do I tighten them? How do I make sure they're done more consistently? Cancellations. Now, I might be getting lots of new patients because I'm doing more ads, like the first lever, but what if a lot of people are leaving or not staying with us? Well, that's when you need to have systems and process and procedures. I think I'm starting to become a little bit known in the industry for systems and streamlining processes. So this is something we're very good at. Knowing how to improve our onboarding process, email sequencing, how to refine our what's called SOPs, standard operating procedures. But you have to understand that there's only so many things you can pull, like so many levers you can pull in your business to achieve different results. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're someone who is like extremely happy with your practice, maybe this isn't the channel for you. Maybe you need to kind of keep doing what you're doing, right? But I know there's a lot of you out there because we work with now close to 40, 50 clinics in the UK. And I'm noticing that there's certain criteria, there's certain concepts that the top 1% of practice owners follow, and the rest of the practices, the 99% in clinics, struggle. So winners win, losers struggle. These are frameworks that work. I don't really care if you've watched me talk about stuff like this for the last year and a half, every single week, and this content is free, so you don't take it seriously. Please assess your business and start from this first principle. Like, what is it working already and what can I do more of? Then the second concept that works well in business is, well, if I'm doing this, which is more, how can I do the existing things that we already do better? Your job as a business owner is not to technically operate the business, is to find where the problems are and to solve the problems. So you've got to wear 200 different hats to start with until you build the team and the systems, and then things just work. But in order for them to work, your foundations need to be absolutely spot on. I've seen this so many times where people try to like go from, let's say they're doing, let's say they're doing their first 10K months, okay? And they want to get to 50K. A lot of people actually struggle to get to 50K in terms of, I think it's like a mental, I don't know, like a mental challenge. But if you want to get to 50K and you're stuck to like 10, 15, 20K, it's because your foundations are not right. You've got to build these foundations, but you've got to build your building blocks in order for your business to start scaling. What you're going to see is you're going to see scale, scale, scale. And then you're going to see another plateau here when you get to about 50K a month. And that's then all about building your team, right? Building your systems. And then you're going to see going to 100K a month. And we see this all the time. We had our first ever black belt a mastermind member. Black belt is when they hit 100K a month. And I know they're just going to be now consistently hitting that, and that is the new mountain they've climbed. But that's really, really important because we spend probably 6 months, 8 months building their foundations in the business, because if you scale and you do more and you do things better, if your foundations are right, you can scale. If you do more and you don't have the right systems in place, the right scripting, the right frameworks, the business will potentially collapse, or you'll have lots of headaches and a lot of firefighting. So once you've done these two levers, you know how to scale more patients, you know what works well and you just do more of it, you know how to refine things and do them better, then you can start be different. Then you can be different. I've got a purple cow here because there's a great author called Seth Godin. If you haven't read his book called Purple Cow, please read it. It's about marketing. And that's where you position yourself differently. That's when you start to introduce things like new services, new products. This year, last year or the year before, we launched a shockwave therapy service that worked really well. You might want to launch with sports massage therapy, rehabilitation alongside chiropractic. We have taping, we have cupping, we have dry needling. We are launching or have launched a pelvic health floor service, which is like a completely different thing. These are only things that I've launched now after running the business for 7-8 years. I would have not started to do more of the shiny stuff because I don't have the foundations. I don't have a proof of concept that whatever I'm doing works. So you've got to do different only once you've optimized the first two. So when I show you this stuff and we talk about practical applications, technically more is, for example, you increasing an ad spend on your highest ROI campaign. This means return on investment. So you guys need to make notes if you're watching this or listening. What are the things that are working well? Let's say new patient or new client acquisition. What are the 2 or 3 things that work really well? Referrals, let's say Facebook ads and Google. We'll just do more of those. Better is, this is when we train the team to handle objections better. This is where we refine our report of findings, for example. This is where I improve my scheduling systems from a front desk perspective. And only then I start to think additional or complementary services or products, such as the ones I've just given you an example of. And what's really cool is if you think about those 3 things, growth becomes possible and it's really not complicated. In fact, every move fits into these 3 categories: better, more, and different. But the secret is in sequencing. The secret is in sequencing. First, you've got to fix your plugs. Plug leaks. So fix your challenges. So actually, I've got this wrong. I'm so sorry, guys. But what this means is, there we go. The beauty of you've got to do more. You've got to do more first of all, because there's no point in me doing better if I have like 3 new patients a month, right? So you've got to do more. The second thing is we've got to do things better. And then, only then, you create the final layer, which is different. That's when you innovate. That's when you add this shiny, cool stuff. Because what we know is that simple scales, one of my mentors told me this ages ago, simple scales, complex fails. So today, I want you to choose one of these levers, and I want you to commit for this week. What am I actually going to do different? If you want to grow your clinic this quarter, you need to ask yourself the question, where can I do more of what's already working? Where can I make things better in my practice, in my systems, in my procedures, in my team training? And only then it's worth thinking, well, what can I do different? What are the cool, shiny, sexy objects that I can introduce into my practice? So guys, for those of you who made it until the end, I strongly suggest taking action. So making something that you learned along this crazy last 10-minute journey, actually making it count. Because I promise you, when you scale your business, things are very, very enjoyable, especially when you look back on the impact you're making to patients. But the only way to get there is to follow what we call first principles thinking. And you go back and watch another video of mine where we talk about first principles thinking, and we use Elon Musk's work as a prime example of how that is and how that can be applied to your practice, to your clinic. And if you want some more help in terms of applying the strategy, we have an awesome community where everyone wants to win. Everyone is doing at least 30K a month plus. And that just means they're helping lots of people on scale. Then yeah, come and join us. If you're accepted, awesome, we can work together. If not, at least you'll leave the call with some free advice on how you can scale more effectively. There should be a link below in the description. If you like this channel, please share. Here to support you guys. I'm here to help, but also I'm here to make a difference. This is my mission. I've said to myself, look, I want to get 100 clinics to 7 figures a year, and I want to turn most clinics that are struggling into the top 1% practices in the world. And that's actually more simple than you think, but it does require a different level of thinking. It does require mentorship. It does require for you to have a network of people who are trying to do the same thing, and everyone is striving towards the same goal. Thank you for watching, guys. Till next video. Bye bye.